Ethan in season 5 was much more emotional, I feel. He kind of led with his heart more than his mind that you're usually normal to seeing. I feel the relationship with April really kind of gave him a roller coaster ride throughout the season, which I thought was fantastic. But you saw these other sides of Ethan that you don't normally see. You usually see the very controlled type of figure within the ED, but when an emotional relationship gets involved with it, that really shines through. There's a lot of butting heads with Crockett, a lot of emotional situations that had happened in the ED that you normally wouldn't see Ethan react to. And I think that's purely because of the relationship that he's had with April all throughout season 5. The last few days, before we actually knew we were shutting down, were eerie in a sense. There was this great unknown, yet we were all getting information from the outside world and the things that were happening at that particular time. And we were on episode 20, and knowing that we had 3 more left, we didn't really know what was going to happen and go on. But everyone started talking, and rumors started to happen, but those rumors became factual, where we knew, I would say 2 days in, that this may be our last episode in episode 20. And lo and behold, come Thursday, the announcement was made that Friday would be our last day. And from then on, we kind of just realized and wondered, like everyone else, how long this was going to be, what the circumstances after this will be. I think it was this kind of great unknown endeavor that we're all experiencing all together at once, that I feel the whole nation was kind of feeling during that time. Very similar to Dick Wolf and his topical subject matters in all of his shows, I think Chicago Med, especially with doctors and nurses, firefighters and police officers being on the front lines through all of this, especially COVID, I think that's very important to talk about, and that's what we're going to dive into immediately. I think, especially in dealing with COVID, being a hospital, being in the medical profession, we really want to show and tell the audience what exists in this world in a very dramatic way, but in a very truthful way. We want to be as authentic as possible and be with the audience. So when we do start, it's not before the pandemic or after the pandemic. It's right in the middle of the pandemic, so we can all experience this together. I'm extremely excited for season 6. I think this season, more than any other season, is where personally I feel the core cast and the core crew rely on each other. We rely on each other to shoot a television show. Each person has a particular responsibility and an accountability for one another, because we feel we've done everything that's safe and CDC guidelines with everything that we're shooting in kind of Chicago Med bubble. But outside of that, we're also responsible for one another. And I think there's really something interesting to that. I think there's this genuine sense of love, of connection that you'll definitely see throughout the characters and throughout the season that you can't really create or manifest or write with. I feel like what we exist in today, as far as the COVID world and how we have to really rely on one another, really creates a sense of humanity. I feel that you will see come across on screen. So the relationships that are created within the storylines will be deeper. I feel like the storylines themselves, as far as the medicine, will be much deeper and much more impactful, because we're living those things today. It's the truest kind of reality, right? If art imitates life, that exists in our world right now. And that's what I'm really, really excited for. And for myself, I'm really, really interested, if I may, in one of two things. I think audiences should be hopefully be excited for the relationships that will continue to expand during all of this. And then also, there'll be certain dynamics as far as the core group of doctors are concerned. And I know that one of them will get promoted in some kind of way, which kind of creates this ripple effect of sorts that you'll definitely see throughout the season. What I missed most while being away is the people, the interaction. I feel isolation is a real thing, and I feel it affects people differently. And true to most people, I think that once you're part of a particular community that you love and enjoy to be around, you definitely miss them when you can't be with them. And during this pandemic and isolation of sorts, during our hiatus, which was much longer than expected, it was wonderful to come back and feel and see the people you enjoy being around. I have the utmost respect and appreciation for all of the first responders there, and I feel that through this season and seasons after, the sense of responsibility, gratitude, and appreciation for what they do and what I try to present, it will be at its height. Coming back to Chicago, everything is different. I think just in the sense of what we're dealing with as far as the pandemic is concerned, I feel that Chicago in itself, for our show and for me personally, is its own character. It's its own personality of sorts. Me coming from Los Angeles and landing to Chicago, I feel that every time that I hear, and I love it. And what I find so incredibly warm and inviting about Chicago is its sense of unity as a city. And I think that's truly because of the people that live here and that exist here. I've missed Chicago and have brought my family here to Chicago so we can kind of experience that together. Chicago has this sense of pride. It has this sense of appreciation for the city and the people of the city that I've never felt in any other city.